Page 254, Ecossaise. You can Google what Ecossaise is. It's kind of a prankish thing. It's use your imagination a little bit. It's a scherzando is like a prankish thing, except an Ecossaise is a mild version and short version of this. It's something for fun, and it can have unexpected things in it too. It's a repertoire piece. It's a solo piece. We get to play a solo here, maybe. If we can learn it, we can. So I'll go through the routine for playing a solo. And when I do this, I'm not so interested in chords. What is a chord name? That's analysis. You want to get into the musical analysis, music theory, you go right ahead. Some people love doing that. I don't, so I don't bother. So here, I'm just going to learn the piece. I look it over. It's 4 lines long. Now, it's longer than that because of the repeat signs, but there's 4 lines of music to learn. We have treble and bass clef at the beginning. It may change, but at the beginning it's treble and bass clef. And there's 1 sharp in the key signature, so it's either in the key of G major or E minor. And the key signature could change, although, again, I'm just looking at the beginning. So what is it? Well, if I can find the end of it, it looks like the end of it is at the bottom here. Ending here, that's a G major chord. Figure we're in G major. Okay, so we're going to play the notes in G major, which means all the F's are sharped. You can have accidentals also, but as far as the key goes, those are the notes I'm going to play. I'll deal with the accidentals when I get to them. 2/4 time signature, right hand first. I want to make sure I have a fingering that works connected. I want to connect all the notes at first. So it's here, they want 3 here, 1 and 2 G's, we're just changing. That's fine. And then going up, we're here, cross under. It's like a G major scale. It almost sounds like you want a D major scale there. But it's not in D major. Careful, it's in G major. We want a C natural in measure 6. Going on measure 9, it's here. 1 beat arrest to come down, and octaves. Now, let's take all the notes in measures 9 and 10 together. Here, and then measure 10, you have G and an E. All those notes, that is an E minor chord, and that's the fingering for it. So that's the fingering I'm using. It happens to be the fingering they're suggesting also, but even if they didn't, because some people teach a 3 on that, I don't. I teach a 4, and that's the fingering I would use. Now, see these broken chords, I recognize them. I just use the fingering for the chord, the arpeggio that I'm used to. You're not doing arpeggios yet, probably. I don't know if you are. Are you doing arpeggios already? If you are, then that would be the fingering you'd be using for this inversion. Come down 1 note. And again. And that is a C natural there in measure 14 again, not a C sharp, because it almost sounds like you're in D major sometimes. Left hand, well, we got chords. So you got the 1 chord and the 4 chord. Come down here. It's a C natural here. I don't really need the natural sign, but okay, it's there. It makes it clearer, because you may think, oh, I had a C sharp up above, I must have a C sharp here. Some people actually have that misconception. They say, well, in measure 5, I had a C sharp in the top staff, so that would automatically make it a C sharp in the bottom staff. No. Each staff has to have its own set of cymbals. Don't carry them over. You can't use cymbals on one staff, though. That's one of the reasons why you have to have a fermata in each staff. A fermata in one staff doesn't apply to the other staff. They've got to be complete. But here, people might think maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they meant C sharp, because it's a C sharp in the upper staff. So they put in a natural to make sure you know it really is a C natural here. And then for measure 9, well, if you look at the end of the second line, you see a treble clef. They're introducing treble clef. So now we're coming up here. Now we got treble clef in both hands. And they want 5/1. That's fine. You can do that. And then again. And then bass clef now for the last line. So we get the left hand. Now we put the hands together and see what kind of a mess we have. And I might hesitate all over, I don't care. I'm just trying to get the hands to work together. So we're here at the start, and then here, and then here. That's fine. The second line is here, and here. You might think, what is he thinking in measure 5? What? Well, it might be part of the Ecossaise. Remember, this is kind of a jokish or prankish thing. You expect the unexpected. Whatever. Okay, measure 9. We're up here now. You got 1 beat rest. The right hand isn't moving. You're here. You're coming down here a little bit. The left hand's got to come up here. That's fine. And down here. And then the left hand, there's no rest here. Now the left hand just has to move. The right hand is right here. The hands working together, and then I go back over it slowly and carefully and get rid of the hesitations. And you can tell this is sort of in 2 sections. The first 2 lines is a section, like chapters in a book, and then the second 2 lines is a section. So when you're learning this first, trying to get the hesitations worked out, just do it a section at a time. So once you have the first 2 lines learned and you can play them without hesitations, set it aside. Don't play them again until you can play the last 2 lines without hesitations. Because if you keep playing the first 2 lines again and again and again, you're kind of wasting your time when you're trying to learn a piece. After you have it all learned and you're interpreting it and working on that, then okay, play it all through each time, whatever. But not when you're trying to learn the notes, rhythms, and get rid of the hesitations. Just focus on pieces. Yeah, don't always keep doing the beginning. I keep saying that over and over because it is really, really important. So no hesitations. And then I think about the articulation. Well, here, accent. Just a little louder is all. The left hand doesn't have it. That's, lift up. You have to lift up in the left hand, you gotta move. Second line, those lines, the curved lines, those are slurs. Those are not phrases. Don't break. No. Connect that whole second line together. It seems to be working out for the first 2 lines that each line is a phrase. And you can lift up between the phrases. But otherwise, connect that second line. And for the third line, now we got this. I'm trying to connect this left hand. You can't really, but you try. Now, the question is, where are the phrasing in the last 2 lines? Well, it's interpretation. What do you think? You want 2 measure phrases? Last line is all 1 phrase. Or maybe you take the whole third line as 1 phrase. It's interpretation. You decide. Or your teacher will decide for you and whatever. That's fine. I can't say one way's right or wrong. I feel it both ways. I might play it one way one time and another way another time, which is handy when it's repeated because both sections are repeated. So you play it one way the first time and another way the second time. It's nice to change something. If you're going to repeat it and play it twice, don't play it twice exactly the same way if you can help it most of the time. Then the dynamics. Well, they're going to apply to the melody, which is the right hand. Forte with an accent makes it very loud. This is just in the background. Come down a little bit to sort of loud and crescendo back up to loud. There, and measure 7. You're loud right there and then come back down. Come back down to sort of loud. Here. Yeah. Just like a swell going up. Only instead of using hairpins, they gave you a crescendo and a hairpin. They could have given you two hairpins. They could have put in a diminuendo there in measure 7 instead of a hairpin. Yeah, whichever. If you're forgetting to do the crescendo, then draw in a hairpin to remind you. Now measure 9 is a sforzando. which is the loudest accent there is. It's just a boom, and that's going to be the melody here. And then you're loud. And now you're soft, and you're going to go up and back down. You can go up to a loud here if you want, or it's interpretation. How loud you get in the last line, I don't know. It's interpretation. Again, dynamics is another thing you can change when you repeat things. You don't have to do it exactly the same dynamics both times. Maybe the first time I only go up to sort of loud here. And the second time I play it, I go all the way up to loud. And I only go down to about a moderately loud. I adjust it. Then the speed. Allegretto. Well, it's between moderato and allegro. I call it the fun speed. That's the overall feel of the piece. The melody is fun. 1, 2, 1, 2. Somewhere in there, it needs to be accurate. So how fast can you play the eighth notes? This. How fast can you play that? Don't go faster than accurate. It'll be different for everybody. And the repeats, you know how those work, I hope. That's my attempt at it right now. A little later, I'm sure I would play it different. You feel it. Remember the natural accent? 1, 2, 1, 2. Of course, the accents help, but it's like the second line. Feel that. Let's just drop a little bit on those. I'm exaggerating so you can hear them better, but that's what you're feeling here. Third line. Feel these accents as you go through these pieces. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I'll do the staccatos, and I'll try to do the accents, and we'll do the repeats. We do pretty much everything except the dynamics and the speed, because we take it really slow. It's in 2/4 time, so I'm going to give us 2 counts. Ready, and go, and then we go. Okay. Even one hand at a time if you need to for a while. Ready, and go, and. And, two, and. And rest, repeat. Rest. Repeat. Rest and